But sadly, Shaun, only an hour and a half of your company. But part of the reason that I wanted to start this, my policing friendship tour here in Devon and Cornwall, was that Devon and Cornwall were the overall winners of the inaugural World Class Policing Awards back in 2019. Not been able to hold them since because of the pandemic. But Operation Encompass, very worthy inaugural award winner. Can you say something about it, Operation Encompass, for those not familiar with it?
It is very much the brainchild of a head teacher and a police officer, husband and wife, and Elizabeth and David Carney Howarth. Elizabeth, primary school as we'd probably, or starting school, the most vulnerable children. All children are vulnerable, but at various ages they're particularly vulnerable. And David as a sergeant working in Plymouth, and they got together the very fact that we in the police service had information often during the hours of the night or during the weekends. So on a Monday morning would lead to a child turning up at school, very quiet, very subdued. That information has not gone across to the school, and it's really grown and snowballed through their leadership, and is in all but one police force now in England and Wales. An amazing achievement. Over 800,000 referrals in their time from police around when they attend domestic abuse with children present, and the work has gone on. They've now got a phone line for teachers during COVID where teachers can phone and get specialist psychiatric or clinical assistance on the day provided by government, and it really has snowballed. And it's that term policing, Bernard, because that's policing, not police. And I think your term, well, policing friendship tour, because policing is nothing without the rest of society keeping us all safe and secure.
The wider policing community, together with the core police community, wonderfully illustrated there with the Operation Encompass story. Teacher and police officer, husband and wife, started this as an idea a few years back, but it went through some challenges, I believe. It wasn't plain sailing from that very moment. It had some challenges of engagement in getting to where it is now, sort of pretty much widespread. And certainly I know that there was much interest internationally in the approach, which hopefully was supported with the profile that came from the World Class Policing Awards.
Oh, that profile has been immense for David and Elizabeth, and I spoke to them actually yesterday, and they send their very best wishes to you.
And back to them.
And wishing you well for the journey. They'll be watching it for sure. And you're right, even in Devon and Cornwall, because when you get these things, your heart wants it, and then it's part of maybe where we are as society and policing. Then we'll start putting all the obstacles in the way as to why we can't. And of course, sometimes there are very good reasons why we can't share information. But the fundamental of, can we really not share information about a child exposed to one of their parents physically harming, perhaps strangling another one without going through all the safeguarding stages? That child goes to school the next day. That child then either repeats that, is fearful of other children, or is just quiet and its education is stifled. Exposure to domestic violence in early years. So much work now, the domestic abuse bill, and starting to look at the rights of the child exposed to domestic violence. The victim isn't just the adult, the victim is the child.
And the simplicity at the heart of the programme, of the idea of the teacher, as we step over a little
bit of a brook there,
coming over the road, as the teacher spots something different in the behaviour of the youngster, and prior to that, the police, aware of the incident of domestic violence that they've attended, they've forewarned the school.
Yes.
And that means that the care for that child, the teachers are prepared for what may or may not be unusual behaviour, and they've put appropriate provision for safeguarding, or rather for that child's care in place prior to the start of the school day. So it's the awareness that the child may present with some experiences of that domestic violence, if you like.
Absolutely, and it is child focused, and then inevitably on very rare occasions the parents or the couple will turn up at the school gate, and things can be spotted at the school gate. Remember, this is the nucleus of the role of policing, is to safeguard. We can't be there all the time, and that child will grow up and have many interactions with schooling, particularly in Devon and Cornwall and other parts where you're going to walk, where there'll be members of clubs and societies. The more people that know discreetly, compassionately, the more that child has a better chance of flourishing, and that later life mental illness, depression, even violence, anything we can do to manage that together, policing together, the better chance that child has.
Well, our breathing now is a little laboured, because if I just focus on the path ahead, we're walking up what has turned into, I suspect, experience of much yet to come across Exmoor. A relatively steep incline and smaller steps to get up it.